Hi everyone, welcome to Crafting in Quarantine. My name is Dabney. I'm the young adult librarian at the Twin Lakes Library System, and I use they, them pronouns. Today's craft is we are going to be making bookends. So I'm going to show you all some bookends that I have in my apartment, and then show you a couple examples of bookends you can make, and then finally walk you through one method of making a bookend. And then of course I'll have some resources linked with some other ideas that you could use. So I have lots of books in my apartment and I require a lot of bookends. As you can maybe see back here, I have a helmet that is holding up this selection of graphic novels and zines on top of my bookshelf, and that is an amazing bookend that my brother gave me. It's not technically a bookend, but that's what I use it for. Some other ones I have a set of cats on books, and this is made of wood, and I actually bought this at an antique store in downtown Milledgeville. This was my first bookend. I have a set of these gargoyles reading books from Barnes & Noble. They've been through a lot. They've lost pieces over the years. Very, very heavy. And then finally I have this little globe bookend. It's extremely lightweight. Doesn't hold up super well against like some really heavy books, but those are some cool ones. And now I'm going to show you one that we made at a library event. I don't know how long ago this was, a while ago. So this one is made from just like a piece of lumber. So my brother, he does carpentry and he builds houses, and so he had some scrap wood that we could use. So that's what we used at the library. And this, took me maybe 2 hours to make, maybe less than that, I can't remember. But basically I wanted it to be about one of my favorite book series, which is The Foxhole Court. This is a self-published book series. I would say recommended for like older teens, just because some of the content. We have the books in our collection, and we have the audiobooks on Hoopla. So FYI, if you're interested, it's a journey for sure. Anyways, I wanted to make this about two of the main characters in the book, so I did their pride flags. So you got the demisexual flag and the gay pride flag, and then I did quotes from the book, which I could have done a much better job at writing them. My handwriting is not the best right there. And to do this, I used a stencil. So I got these from Walmart. They probably still have them, and so I just traced out the stencil of the fox and then painted it. And yeah, I was really happy with how this turned out. As you can see, there's nothing on the other side, but I did have an idea for that. And so, when you're doing this, if you want, you can, like I said, use stencils, paint, write, or, you could use washi tape, wrap it around this. So if you didn't have paint, you could just do tape. You could do duct tape. And I have these stickers I recently got. So they're from this fan artist who is really big in the Foxhole Court fandom. And so I bought these stickers from her. And so I was thinking like I could just stick these guys to the back of this, and that would be cool. I haven't decided yet, but maybe. Other things you could do. So I really love anime. Nobody is surprised. So sometimes, when you order anime DVDs, they come with cases, so you could cut out the figures and paste them onto your bookend as a collage. We just got this anime recently at the library, so you should check it out. It's one of my favorites. It's actually a movie instead of like a show. Or I cut these guys out as well, so you could just paste them on here, paste a lot of characters on here, maybe, again, write some quotes or something that you think would be cool. And then these guys, by the way, are from the Anime Carnival with a K. And so we have that anime as well, and we have the manga, so check those out. And then these are my stickers of characters from Free, the anime. Again, we have all of those seasons and the movies in the library collection. But, you could do stickers on the back of here, whatever you're feeling. But I think this is a good material. It's a pretty good weight, but, if you have access to scrap lumber, go for it. But I realize, everyone's kind of got access to different materials. This is one that's really easy to do, which is just a glass vase, and it's got some glass beads in here, so that gives it enough weight to kind of hold up books. If you wanted to do something like this, the Dollar Tree has glass vases. I don't know about beads, but they do have like these clear glass beads that they sell in bags, all different colors. You could layer the colors, and if you want to get extra with it, you could buy some fake flowers and stick them in the top, so you've got a bookend and you've got a nice decoration. Then finally, an idea that I saw online is that you can use cardboard boxes for your bookends. So this is one. I got a Raven Cycle fan mail crate. So I actually like this box, and I'm not going to cover it. But if you had just like a plain cardboard box, or I think this could even work potentially with like, a cereal box, something like that. What you can do is you could paint it, or you could wrap paper around it and decorate it however you want. But to give it some weight so it's not tipping over, you can put rocks inside of it. So I've got these rocks here. If you've got like crush and run gravel, you just pick up some rocks as you go along, and that'll keep it in place. Alright, so finally we're gonna decorate a bookend. This is my recommended craft, and that is to get a brick. This is so heavy. You can buy bricks at Lowe's for less than 50 cents, so for $1 you could have, a set of bookends. And there's all different kinds of ways you can use bricks to make bookends, and I'll have some of those linked to the video, but what I'm going to do is kind of collage my bookend. So when I was trying to decide like how I wanted to decorate this, I don't know how I got the idea to do stars, but I have a set of old World Book encyclopedias from 2008, and I looked up stars to see if there was any good pictures I could use, and I found these. So that's what I'm going to use to wrap my brick. Another idea I had was, I looked up the world, and there was like this really nice map of the world I thought about using. But, if you don't have a really old set of books to demolish, what you can do is just, print some pictures if you're able to do that, or if you have any magazines or newspapers around, cut those up for collaging. So what we're going to do is first glue these onto the brick, and then I also had these book covers I had printed out over the years for some different decorating things, and they all kind of have to do with space and stars, and so I'm going to use some of these to also decorate my bookend for a nice literary reference. Okay, so I'm going to turn the screen down and start to show you how to do the craft. And coincidentally enough, I'm wearing my shirt with the phases of the moon on it. That was not planned. It's a happy coincidence. Okay. So my first step is I've already kind of shaped these around the brick and folded them so I know like where the lines are. And I'm just going to cover this with Mod Podge. If you have like regular glue at home, you can use that too. We're just going to sort of lightly, well, however much Mod Podge you think you should use. And if you don't have like glue or Mod Podge, what you can do is you can tape it. So if you wrap your brick just like you were wrapping a present, if you've never wrapped a present, YouTube is your friend. Okay, so I got my brick here, and oops, I should have done the other one first. Okay, we'll put this out of the way, and we'll glue the other one on first. That's because I kind of want the other one to overlap on top of this one, and I'll show you why in a second. But you kind of want to move quickly at this point so your Mod Podge doesn't dry out before you can wrap the brick. And your bricks, when you buy them and get them home, you want to try to clean them off a little bit first, because they'll probably be dusty and dirty. Just clean them out, dry them off in the sun. That's what I did. Okay, so you've got I'm following the lines. That's how I'm laying it down here. And then you just press it out as flat as you can. Now, here at the top, we're going to wrap the top. So, press the sides in first, and then this part folds down. I'm not the best at wrapping things, by the way. Like when it's Christmas time or birthdays and I have to wrap presents, I just like to put things in bags, and be like, there. Because first of all, if you do that, you're not wasting wrapping paper. And if you're like my family, you can just reuse the bags and tissue paper. I don't know. Wrapping paper, I feel like a lot of it gets wasted and that makes me sad. But you can also recycle, I think, a lot of wrapping paper too. So, okay, other side of the brick. And I put a little bit more Mod Podge on here. Gonna lay this down. Again, try to find those lines. Now, if you wanted to, you could also like do a galaxy paint on your brick if you are like good like that. Okay, now we're gonna wrap the top again. Press that down. So it didn't quite meet. Some bricks are bigger than others. This brick was pretty big. So I'm gonna put a little piece of something here, but just to show you guys so far. This is the side, other side. So for here, I had another picture somewhere. Here it is. So we can cut out a piece. So I'm going to move my brick up and measure how big to cut this. You can also fold it down at the top. Okay. So, cutting this top part. Trim this little bit here. Alright, then I'm going to do some Mod Podge on the back. And stick this on the top. Sorry you can't see this at the moment. So like that. Now, okay, what I'm thinking about doing is putting some book covers on here. So again, this is our brick. I think it looks pretty good. So it's up to you, like how you want to have your bookend on the shelf. You know, how much space you want it to take up, because it could be presented like this, or it could be presented like that. So depends on, you know, how you want it to look. I kind of want mine to look like this. So you've got all these book covers, and I was kind of, you know, looking through, and we've got autobiography, which again we have in our collection. You could check it out. So I'm going to put some Mod Podge on the back of this. It's dripping. And I'm going to turn this around real quick, sorry. Okay, so you've got it like that. You know, if you're printing out pictures, you can make them bigger. Like personally, I kind of would prefer if this came all the way over across the top, but this is what we've got, so we'll make do. And then, you know, if you wanted to do some book covers on the side, just trying to see, like we've got When the Moon Was Ours. You know, you could do it here. You can maybe do Pitch Dark underneath it, however you want to do it. And then my last idea for this was, you know, we made origami stars last week, and I made a couple more recently. So, and I was thinking, just to give this like a more cute factor, you could potentially like glue them to the top. Like I kind of like the idea of hot gluing them so they're standing up like this and just doing like a parade of stars on the top of it. I think would look nice. And then the last thing you need to do if you're making a bookend with a brick is you need to have something on the bottom of your brick so it's not going to scrape your shelf. And most of the tutorials I watch, they recommend using a piece of felt. I don't have any felt at home. I have an old sock. So what I thought was, you know, I could just cut a piece of fabric from the sock, it's pretty thin, and just glue that to the bottom here. I would need to use something other than Mod Podge, so like hot glue, that sort of thing, and you know, that would keep it in place. So that is our craft for today. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you're able to make something really cool. And yeah, I guess the last thing I wanted to let you all know about is we have some evening hours at the library. So if you needed to come check out books and you can't get to our library from 10 to 2, what you can do is Tuesday and Thursday come to the drive-thru from 5 to 7. So again, that's only Tuesday and Thursday, 5 to 7. All right, well, I will see you all later. Bye.